What's up, guys? Brian Grant here of ContestChampion.com, and yesterday we got hit with a lot of new information about patch 12.0, the 12.0 update. And there are still some unknowns and some uncertainties and stuff like that, but I kind of wanted to give you guys a condensed version of what the update is going to look like. I wanted to share that information with you guys the only way that I really know how, which is a spreadsheet. Now, keep in mind, I'm trying to, there's a lot of information here. I'm trying to take it, I'm trying to extract all of it from the giant post of information that they gave us. But I am going to put a link to this in the description of the video. So if you want to see this for yourself, if you want to read the exact words that Kabam has put out, including the FAQ here, that link will be in the description for you guys. But for now, let's get back to the actual spreadsheet that I made here, and I'm gonna just kind of go over each section here. Now, first things first, let's start out with the new content being added to the game, or at least discussed in that in that update notes. A lot of people are more concerned about the nerfs and stuff like that, and yeah, I will get to that. But as far as I'm concerned, this is the actual game itself. The champions are more of just like the tools to get through the actual game. So this is what I actually care about and I'm most excited about. So first off, the release of update 12.0 is going to be on March 1st. They talk about new customization as a result of their stat system change, which I will get to in just a moment. The new customization will not be a part of patch 12.0, but it's something that has me really excited. Any way to customize your champions a bit more and stuff like that. I'm totally psyched about that stuff. I mean, how interesting are masteries, and that is just one system, right? Synergies, all that stuff. So, very excited to see what new customization they do have in the works for future updates. Again, not in patch 12.0. There's a lot of talk about Collector versus Grand Master, and of course that gets into Act 5 a bit. And apparently, I think that feud is going to be going on for quite a while. I think we've only seen like just the beginning. If we could even call it just the beginning with Labyrinth. It's like an integrated story is kind of what they're talking about, because they put an emphasis on the fact that you're going to be a part of this feud, like almost like we might be picking a side between the two. I don't know. They left a lot of things open in that regard, but it feels like we're going to be more into the story. And even though normally I kind of just skip story stuff in games, if the story is really like done well and everything, sometimes I get into it. So we'll see. There's going to be a revamped arena system. Again, this is not with patch 12.0, but this is confirmation that they are going to have a revamped arena system. What they mentioned specifically is that there's going to be... Actually, let me go back to those notes real quick here. Okay. Such as the introduction of a revamped arena system that includes more options for arenas to compete in. So this is all that they've confirmed for right now. More arenas to compete in. We don't know exactly what else is coming, but it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting. At least they've said that they are they are planning arena changes. So that's pretty cool. They do mention that although they've discussed that they have like plans all the way to 2020 already. That is not the end. They are going far beyond 2020, so yeah, this game is going to be kicking for quite a while. If you ever feel like taking a break, that's cool, man, but yeah, come back and check it out in a few years or something. It's probably going to be crazy. Act 5, the first chapter of Act 5 is going to be released on March 8th. We don't know about the other chapters, we don't know about the rewards, but March 8th we should have a lot of information about Act 5. And I'm pretty hyped up about that. If you haven't made it through Act 4 and stuff yet, yeah, you're gonna want to do that. But that's all right. Act 5, it's not like it's gonna be a temporary thing. It's gonna be a permanent addition to the game. So very excited about that. All right, new stats. This is actually, I think, the sleeper of this update. I think this is the real game changer here. They're making a change from percentage-based things to flat values. Now, this is not for everything across the board, but this is for a lot of things. This is for like your critical hit chance, and the way that it's going to work is, let's say now you have a critical hit chance of 20%. Right now, they're going to give you a crit value of, let's say 500 or something like that, right? And I think the way it's going to work is maybe you're going to match up your crit value versus the critical resistance value of your opponent or something like that. It's going to do some calculations. There's going to be diminishing returns involved, which means you cannot just stack one particular stat. Eventually, it'll get to a point where it's just like, okay, you're really not gaining a ton from stacking more and more and more crit. I'm betting that like crit chance, it's never going to go away. It's always going to be like the go-to stat, but it's going to get to a point where it's just like, okay, you know what, I've got a couple synergies. I don't really want to get all crit synergies. Now I want some other synergies mixed in there and stuff like that. So I think it's really going to spice up the way that people look at this game, and it's I'm super excited for it. They're adding in another offensive stat here, armor penetration. This is interesting, especially with the addition of the diminishing returns. Because we're no longer going to want to just stack purely crit chance. It's good that they're giving us another offensive option. This way we can still find a way to gain that extra damage, but it's in a more interesting way, right? Because it's not just going to be, okay, I just want crit, that's all I have to think about, right? Now you're going to be going up against high armor enemies who maybe you're like, oh wait, you know what? In this case, let me bring out this specific setup, this specific tool, this synergy, this mastery, whatever, that can get through, that can just like pierce the armor of my enemies. Very exciting right there. There are already a lot of high armor enemies in the game right now that you can get around by using like bleed champs and stuff like that. But just having like an extra tool to get through that, it's exciting. It's exciting. Critical resistance, I kind of mentioned this a little bit briefly, but basically there's going to be a way to a way for your champions to gain a resistance to being critically hit. That's pretty cool. That's going to be pretty vital for people who care about their Alliance War defense. Block penetration, this is another stat where you can do a lot of damage while the opponent is blocking. It's somewhat interesting, but not super interesting at the same time. I bet there's going to be some cases where this is going to be very useful, but for the most part, it's going to kind of just be like a minor offensive stat. Challenger rating. Challenger rating is something that honestly I should have thrown in the unknown category because we don't know a ton about challenger rating. So I'm actually just going to flip over to the notes here, and we'll go to challenger rating. Let's go back up to the actual notes. Okay, challenger rating. This is a new rating and system that affects all champions. Taking a champion with a higher challenger rating into a fight against a champion with a lower challenger rating will see your champion stats increase while they fall. Challenger ratings are based on the rank and rarity of each champion. So, yeah, I don't know what to make of this quite yet. So we'll have to wait and see. I just want to clarify when it says rank and rarity, it's especially rarity here. They're talking about the star rating of each champion. So 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, all the way up to 5 star, and eventually beyond, right? That's what we're talking about. All right, let's go back to the actual spreadsheet here. But I'm a huge fan of this percent to flat value change. They're also going to talk about, I might as well throw healing into discussion about stats. I have it in this unknown category here because I'm not entirely sure how it's going to look in game. Basically, the way they talk about healing is that it's going to be based off of your base stats. So I don't know. It might still be percentage based in some areas, like willpower might still regenerate a percentage of your character's health. But it's going to be, from what it sounds like, it's going to be based off of your base health. So what this really means is that it should change up things like Alliance War. When you're fighting a Wolverine in Alliance War, or an Iron Man in Alliance War, they're going to gain some life, but it's not just going to be like this mega roadblock, right? It's probably going to change the way that we approach like Ultron as a boss, where you don't need to do that thing where I mean everybody does it, right? Or for the most part, people do it, where you take them below a certain threshold and then like pause the fight and like wait for the timer to expire and then go back in there, fight him again or something like that, right? And I'm not saying that you had to do that to get around it, but for a lot of the players who are in the lower tiers of Alliance War, I remember when you know, I was in my super casual alliance, they put Iron Man on the first node, and my entire alliance got like wiped out because nobody can get through his regeneration. Eventually, like I was able to power through it, and eventually, as you gain the skills and stuff like that, and the knowledge of how to power through it, and use other tools like guillotine and stuff like that, you can get around it. But for the newer players out there, I think that this is going to be a real big help to them. I am curious to see how it's going to work for Wolverine in Realm of Legends. Wolverine was really the only roadblock where you had to use specific champions. I don't know if that's still going to be the case. You might be able to get through Realm of Legends with just about any champion now. So it'll be interesting. The healing is up in the air at this point. It sounds like when you're using a champion that has healing, it sounds like it's going to be pretty much the same. There's one exception in here for Doctor Strange, but it sounds like because it's based off of your champion's base health, it sounds like the healing for yourself is not really going to be changed. Alright, let's get to some buffs here. Now, I'm not going to go through each and every one of these buffs, but you can see that there's a lot of champions buffed, far more buffs than actual nerfs in the game. There are a few here that I wanted to point out. Hulk is basically getting reworked. I guess, you know what, I guess I'll go back and read through the ones that are actually getting reworked here. So Hulk is having a new special animation, animation. The chance to trigger Fury now increases the lower the Hulk's health is. Increased base physical resistance, so he's going to be a bit more tanky. Hulk can now trigger Fury when attacking and being struck. These two Fury effects will stack together. Special attacks now have a chance to stun the opponent. That's pretty cool. The duration of the stun increases for each Fury effect Hulk has active. I was already kind of a fan of Hulk, so with these changes, very excited to see what Hulk can actually do. When brought below 25% health, Hulk now gains a massive Fury effect. Okay, so that's really cool. Let's go back to the spreadsheet here. A few more minor buffs, and then we have Punisher. Now, Punisher, I'm going to check him out, but honestly, I don't know what to make completely of Punisher. He's getting reworked. He's getting completely changed. He has new animations for Special 1 and Special 2. He's no longer going to be identical to Winter Soldier. It sounds like they might still have the same level 3 animation, but honestly, I like the level 3 animation anyway, so that's fine. There's a lot of changes here. It looks like he has this new mechanic called Open Wounds. That's going to basically allow you to put debuffs on the opponent to increase your damage, but they're not triggered by willpower. That was already confirmed by either Mike or Adore. I'm not sure which one. And it sounds like there might be some kind of fun interaction there with the Despair Mastery, where you could potentially you know, eliminate their healing if you're playing this champion correctly. I don't know. Only time will tell, really. Let's go back to the spreadsheet. Not Word. I did not mean to open up Word. Let's go back to the spreadsheet here. Spider-Gwen. Spider-Gwen is also getting a major reworking here. We can see Spider-Gwen now switches combat mode when by dashing back and holding block. Kabam actually announced this change a long time ago, so they must have been working on this change for Spider-Gwen and some of these other champions for a very long time. Evasion chance now increased. Okay. Basically, I could sum this all up and say that she's just going to be better overall. Her Special 1 animation or Special 1 ability is changing. She's going to be able to switch modes. Actually, I don't think her Special 1 is going to be changing. I think it's just going to increase evasion chance. I didn't realize that. Oh, and also gains large boost to critical hit chance. I should have just read this, guys. Why didn't I just read it off the page here? Increased amount of armor break caused during Hunter Spider mode. Trap Spider mode now triggers a weakness on the opponent when successful. Increased base critical hit chance. So yeah, she's just getting a large damage boost and the ability to flip modes without using your specials. So pretty nice. Spider-Gwen is going to be a heavy hitter, it sounds like. The other big change here, I will say, is Winter Soldier. So we go back one more time here for Winter Soldier, and he's getting a total rework, similar in the way that Punisher is, but at the same time completely different. They're going to be two completely different champions, and it sounds like he has some kind of like the cool thing about Winter Soldier is he has some like rotating ability where he has different ammo types that are going to do different effects, and you're able to like switch between these ammo types. So Winter Soldier sounds like he's going to be pretty fun, honestly. So excited to check that out in game, but we'll have to wait and see on that one. All right, the nerfs. There are quite a few nerfs here. Black Widow, I can sum this up very quickly. Basically, when she's at max signature ability level, she's going to go from 100% to 70%. In my opinion, this is absolutely justified. This is one of the two champions that I felt needed the nerf stick the most. It's to just have a complete 100% chance to eliminate all of these different effects in the game without having any kind of downside. It felt kind of funny to me. There is something that I want to show in game though, and there's a lot of unknowns about Black Widow at this point. So if we actually flip it on over to Quake here, Quake has this signature ability where paired up with Black Widow, and this is interesting that they threw this in here. This synergy has been in the game for a very long time. I wonder how long they've been thinking about this Black Widow nerf. I don't know exactly the interaction between this synergy and Black Widow's signature ability, but it sounds like it's going to increase it by 15%. So it sounds like there are still ways, and there is another one here for Hawkeye too. So it sounds like there are still going to be ways possibly to get that to 100%, but it sounds like you're going to have to work a little bit more towards it. You can't just have Black Widow on the team and that's it. Like, problem solved, right? It sounds like you're going to actually have to think about it and strategize about it a little bit more. So, pretty interesting. There's also some masteries that can play a role in that as well. So, a little bit unknown at the moment, but it'll be interesting to play around with nonetheless. So, let's actually go back to the spreadsheet here. Doctor Strange is just getting a slight nerf overall. I mean, it actually is like a pretty heavy nerf, but the champion is going to be totally fine, and I expect him to still be used essentially everywhere. Yeah, Doctor Strange, he's still Doctor Strange, guys. Magneto, slight nerf. I want to say it's a bug fix. On his level 1 special, you can't get the bleed on his initial hit. You can only get the bleed when he hits you with that metal. So, yeah, kind of a minor thing. It's not really going to change much. It is a little bit of a bummer. I kind of wish that they increased the bleed as a compensation there, just because Magneto felt fine even when he had that double bleed. So, yeah. Scarlet Witch, she did get a massive nerfing. I do still think that the champion is going to be good still. But she absolutely got nerfed pretty hard. I'm going to include it in this video just in case you want to read it yourself here. I'm not going to read through everything. I'll just read through a couple of things here. Veil of Fortune goes from 100% to 85% if you have her signature ability maxed out. The stun duration goes from 3.5 seconds to 1.5 seconds, which is still a pretty decent stun length. Because if you're stunning the person like mid combo and stuff like that, you can very easily chain that into another combo. And if you have Stupefy, you can possibly even get like the double medium and then go to a new combo still. So, still fine as far as the stun duration goes. It's just going to prevent you from getting like a perfect stun lock throughout the fight. The regeneration hit is absolutely massive, from 20% to 5%. So yeah, that one's pretty big. The other thing here is that stun and regeneration go from 13 to 5%. So yeah, that was absolutely still like the stun and regen that Scarlet Witch had were by far the biggest offenders in terms of her overpoweredness. She's still going to be good though. She's still going to be good in my opinion. She's still going to have Nullify and stuff like that. So still a pretty valuable champion. Let's go back to the spreadsheet here. All right, Star-Lord, he really didn't get nerfed. He's included in here because it's like the most minor nerf ever. Basically, if you are able to get over 400 hits in a combo, his damage is gonna cap at that point. But like, come on, there's a 5-star version of Star-Lord in the game. If you're getting 400 hits with a 5-star Star-Lord, like whatever. Was this really necessary? I don't know, but who cares at this point, right? Ultron. Let's actually skip Thor for just a moment because I want to talk about Thor quite a bit. So just to get through this here, Ultron also got, in my opinion, is a minor nerf. He has reduced crit chance, but that's not what made the champion like an amazing champion. Not to mention, it's just his base crit chance being nerfed. You're still going to be able to gain a lot of crit chance from masteries and synergies and stuff like that. So, in my opinion, yeah, the nerf to Ultron is very minor. He is affected by the healing change, but I think that's only going to really change him when it comes to him being on defense or the enemy Ultrons. So, it might actually be a helpful thing for a lot of people going up against different Ultrons in quests and stuff like that. Same thing for some of these other nerfs. It's going to be able to help you take down these champions a lot better. Doctor Strange, he has a slower power gain, so that's going to help in some areas. Scarlet Witch, it's probably going to be easier to get through Scarlet Witch in Realm of Legends now, and maybe some other parts of the game. Who knows? That's a little bit in the unknown category for Scarlet Witch there. Thor. Thor got hit the hardest, in my opinion. Thor, armor break no longer stacks. Reduced amount of armor break applied when ability triggers, and fury gained, or fury from signature. Alright, actually that one's not as important. It's just the reduced amount of armor break and it no longer stacking. That's the big thing. It's a little bit unknown about Thor right now. It sounds like it was too heavy a nerf in my opinion. However, there's a couple of things that are unknown. So if we go up to armor penetration up here, this is a new stat that allows you to ignore a portion of your opponent's armor rating with every attack. I don't know if Thor, he might have like some built-in armor penetration that is going to make him, that's just going to like balance out his damage in a way that maybe you're hitting for more than you currently do in the game when you don't have any armor breaks on the opponent, but when you hit him with an armor break, your damage is not going to be as high. So maybe like the difference in damage you're doing when you have an armor break on or not, maybe it's becoming more normalized. I don't know. No one really knows until we see Thor in game. But at first thoughts about him, he might have got hit a little too hard. Bringing down his damage is fine. His damage was absolutely insane. But depending on how much they brought down his damage, maybe they need to throw something else his way, like poison immunity or something like that. So yeah, we'll see when the update actually hits. All right, compensation. First off, I want to be pretty clear about compensation. In my opinion, they're making the game better. I really don't need to be compensated for Kabam making the game better. However, I don't spend money on this game, so I totally understand that they're giving compensation for people who have spent money. I am still absolutely going to take advantage of the compensation, though. That being said, and in fact, the rank down tickets, there's going to be a massive way to take advantage of this, and I will explain this in just a moment. They're including the rank down tickets because of like the nerfs and people want to like switch around champions and stuff like that, right? But I don't even care about that stuff. I'm not even D-ranking any of the champions that got nerfed. I'll show you guys what I'm talking about. Maybe that might even need to be a separate video. I'll explain in a little bit of detail on this one, but that might need a separate video because, yeah, you're not going to want to miss out on the ways to take advantage of that. They're including 2 4-star awakening gems for almost every player of the game. I think if you have, actually, let's just confirm this here. Okay, so yes, if you have over 30,000 base hero rating, you will gain 2 4-star awakening gems. One is just going to be a straight up generic awakening gem, it seems, and the other is going to be an awakening gem crystal. So it's going to be the same thing for the 75,000 plus bracket. A lot of people are complaining that there aren't enough brackets and that there should be more. So, you know, if you have over 100,000 and over 200,000 hero rating, you should get more rewards and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't really care, to be honest. The higher the players are, the less they actually need the compensation because they're able to rank up so many different champions. So it's debatable, but honestly, who cares? Like I already said, I just care that they're adding new content to the game. They're updating these systems here. They're giving us more ways to customize our champions. They're buffing champions that absolutely needed it. Ant-Man here, he might actually be a monster. We don't know yet. They're nerfing some of the champions that were very clearly overbalanced. They're going to make the game more competitive, so compensation, whatever. They're giving some signature stones as well here. These are signature stone crystals, though. They're not generic signature stones. Want to make that clear. Then they're also giving some mastery recoveries, so if we wanted to change up our masteries for free, we could, with the exception of the minor amount of units that it would cost to re-add those points to specific masteries. The unknown things, I already covered healing a lot. Phoenix, I didn't know where to put Phoenix because I know nothing about Phoenix, to be completely honest. I was kind of waiting for them to fix Phoenix before I even spent time learning about the champion. I don't see Phoenix anywhere. I use Phoenix in Arena, and that's about it. Temporary Alliance quest schedule. So yeah, actually, let's flip back to the notes here because I really need the notes help on this one. So first things first. One of the upcoming Alliance quests is going to happen 2 days earlier, so there's going to be a little bit less downtime. I think that's after this cycle. There's going to be 2 days earlier. Go back here. Alliance quest and Alliance War are off for 1 week. Okay. This is after the update, so after March 1st here. There's going to be a level up event with 2 times the rewards, and this is what I'm talking about. This is how you can. This is part of the way you can take advantage of this rank down tickets here. We'll be introducing a 24-hour level up solo event on March 2nd that repeats until March 31st. So essentially the entire month of March except for March 1st, and feature 2 times the rewards. So you're absolutely going to want to use this down ranking thing, which I guess I should have elaborated a little bit more on. You're going to get back the full amount of ISO and gold and catalyst when you're down ranking your champions. You do not get back the signature stones and stuff like that. But they added this change because of all the feedback that they got from players from the last big update for the willpower nerf and the perfect block nerf. So you are going to be able to downrank certain champions, or all champions really, with limitations because you only get a certain number of these tickets to downrank your champions, right? But there's going to be 24-hour level up events running throughout the entire month of March. It's going to be so easy to line up specific level up events like Science level up, Mystic level up, Mutant level up, all that stuff. So downrank away, downrank all the different champions you want, and re-level up the ones that you do want when the double level up thing is going on. You're gonna be able to get so many rewards from this, right? It's gonna be amazing. And real quick, one last thing about the downranking system here. Like I said, I am not planning on downranking any of the champions that got hit with the heavy nerfs. What I am planning on doing is downranking certain champions that I leveled up just because I really didn't have anyone else to level up at the time. So like War Machine here is probably going to get downranked. There's a couple other 4-stars that will probably get downranked. If I flip it over to my 5-stars here, I'm going to be downranking Magneto to get back some of those tier 4 basic catalysts. So you're going to be able to fish out a lot of tier 4 basic catalysts with this downranking system. I'm not downranking any of my 5-stars or anything like that, but I'm just excited to get some tier 4 basic catalysts, honestly. So very excited about that. Okay, close this out here. This announcement was supposed to take place on February 23rd, so that's actually a Wednesday. It's a shame. Yeah, so actually it's supposed to be announced on the 22nd because the 23rd is when they say. This means the next round of Alliance Quest will start February 23rd, and they adjusted it right here. It said like tomorrow 23rd or something like that. I have that on the live stream still, but yeah, the announcement was actually supposed to take place right dead center, smack in the middle of the week, where they could have answered a lot more questions. They could have had the full development team in the studio and stuff like that. So it's kind of a shame that this information got leaked early, to be honest. It forced a lot of people to work on the weekends and all that stuff, so kind of feel bad for Kabam. They're giving us this awesome update, in my opinion, and they kind of got screwed over there a little bit. Other things unknown is just a lot of calculations. We don't know. There's a lot of calculations that are unknown at this point because of all the new stat system going on. So there'll be a lot of things to actually play around with and test. Of course, I'll be making a lot of videos. I'm sure a lot of the other YouTubers will be making videos and stuff like that. And I wanted to just mention one other thing to close this out. Kabam, in my opinion, at least the Kabam that is making Marvel Contest of Champions, they've done an amazing job with this game. And I was in Killa's live stream a little bit earlier, and he hit the nail on the head basically when he said, like, give the developers some credit. First off, they did not make these decisions hastily. Second, they've been able to keep this game going for as long as they have and keep it enjoyable and fun and exciting for as long as they have. So give Kabam some credit. I think that when it comes to this stuff, they've earned our trust. I'm sure some of you will disagree and find some reason to disagree, right? But in my opinion, yeah, I trust these guys. I trust these guys to do a good job in making this game fun in the long term. The changes that happened with willpower and removing perfect block, people freaked out when that happened. And a lot of people months later were like, oh, you know what? That was actually an amazing change. It actually made the game a lot more enjoyable in the long run. As much as they fought against it, they eventually were like, okay, yeah, actually that was a good change. So keep in mind all of the new content, keep in mind all of the new systems, keep in mind the new ways to customize our champions that will, again, not be in patch 12.0, but to plan for the future, the arena systems, all this stuff. I'm excited, guys. I'm very excited. And I can only hope that you are too. And that's going to do it for this video, guys. I will see you in the next one. Take care.